Hey guys, Dan here from DansMillionaireCode podcast, and today's guest is an impromptu guest, but one of my favorite people. He can sing, he's got massive talent, super creative dude, knows how to operate all the electronics and equipment and play instruments, and just amazing all around dude.
Thank you, man.
Austin O'Brien, also known as Mr. Wobbles, right?
Yep.
Man, dude, thanks for coming to visit us here in Utah, all the way from...
South Dakota.
South Dakota, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, and we're both from Southern Cal, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah, Huntington.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So Sherman Oaks, yeah.
Let's go.
Dude, so your channel is incredible. I've been following it, and then the guys are like, man, we got to meet that dude and work with him. He's so awesome. So, and you get a pretty good-sized following now. You got, like, a good community of...
I would say, like, I have two channels. So I have, like, one that's my main channel where I put curtailed content on, and then I have, like, a side channel that has, like, 150,000 people that I just kind of throw up random stuff. Like, I'll be like, hey, I'm learning how to chop wood, you know? And then I'll make a video of me learning how to chop wood, and it's cool. I have, like, this creative outlet that's, like, doesn't need to have everything, and then I have my main channel, which is, like, my main stuff, like music and what I really like doing and putting out and editing and all that good stuff. So
I got to ask you this. You know, it's kind of like a magic, mythical formula now to be able to have authentic content to get people to their. So for like, I'm actually going to learn from you and take mental notes here. But tell us like your journey, man. Where'd you come from? And then how'd you get such a huge community? You just
I was like I was a street performer. So I'm 28. From like 19 to 25, I was street performing all the time. And I was going up and down Venice, and I was sleeping in my car, and then I was like working Uber a lot.
Whoa.
And this really weird situation happened where like, and this this sounds really trippy, but a girl fell asleep in my car, and she passed out, and I was like, I had to call the cops to get her to like wake up. And it was at USC, so she was a USC student, so that they have a lot of like USC cops there, and she like. And the cop said something to me that like made me start a YouTube channel. He was like, she could say that you did anything. You need to put a camera in your car and make sure that you got yourself covered. Because if a situation like this happens, I'm sure she'll be fine. But they could you could get in trouble really badly. So I was like, okay. And I just started, like I would street perform and then I would work Uber at night, like in between, like at night when no one was there, at Venice and stuff like that. Because it usually closes down around 8. And I had a camera, and people would ask me what I do. I'd be like, I'm a beatboxer. And then I would start like just recording like all my reactions of people listening to me beatboxing.
This is your Uber cam.
Yeah.
Oh. I
would be like I would beatbox, and people would like rap with me or like, you know, really, really enjoy it. And I realized really quickly that like I can make videos out of this. So I started making videos out of that. And that was how I got my start on YouTube, was like this authentic music reaction content. And then I kind of just like coasted off that and done a lot of... I've done that same format with me getting out of beatboxing and into singing and into looping and like into like what I actually wanted to be as a musician. But it was so hard because I couldn't afford like the gear to be able to do what I wanted to do. But I also couldn't like carry it street performing and all that stuff. So I just like was stuck beatboxing. So
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the, for entrepreneurs out there, we got a lot of younger people watching. So if they've got, like, a cool talent and stuff, so if you were to give them, like, mentorship, this is, like, virtual mentoring, what are, like, a few tips you would tell them and from mistakes that you've learned from?
I would say, like, don't be afraid to record. Like, just don't be afraid. Like, I think that my content and, like, what I've done with my channel, it's all been based off, like, just good human interaction. You know, and like not being afraid to be like, hey, could I throw the camera on? You know, and taking like what you think is your favorite thing. Like if you're like a woodworker, it's like you could go and make videos out of like, I'm gonna woodwork, making benches for people that like you could find like a niche of people that might need your job or need what you want or like want to hear what you do or see what you do and give that to them and then record it and then make that content. Because I realized really early on with all my content, like beatboxing is a hard thing to sell because it's very like niche and not a lot of people know what beatboxing is, and people like watching people enjoy something, right? So my whole basis on my content is like showing that like people enjoy, like my music is, I know my music is good, but showing people enjoying it is like, it's like for a viewer, it's cognizant of them realizing like, oh yeah, that's good.
Your stuff's not like overproduced either. It's very
No.
natural and
Yeah,
comes out.
I try not to be like over the top, and I try to do everything on the fly, and like I try to keep it
On the
genuine.
fly. Dude, can you beatbox for like 10, 15 seconds?
Okay.
Dude, it's so good.
Thank you.
This is all self-taught.
Yeah.
You didn't go to beatbox school? No, I'm messing with you.
It's definitely not a beatbox school, but I did events. That's what I did before everything. Like I was a beatbox battler. You ever see those videos? So
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that for a while.
Do pretty good?
Yeah, I won West Coast Championships, which
Jeez.
it was not like recorded or anything. And then I went to U.S. Champs twice, and
No way, dude.
I partied a little bit too hard every time I went there. So, but you know, I went there and I realized like battling's great. You know, like I don't like putting my art form up against other people directly.
Okay.
You know, I like being like not having to treat it like it's like a competitive thing, and like being like more like I could just do it and people are happy, and like that could be good. You know, that was good for me to like go to battles and kind of come to that conclusion for myself, because then I went home in like 2017 after I did US Champs, and that's when I started doing the Uber beatboxing, and that's when I started doing Omegle videos, and you know, trying to find all
Those
the
are funny.
Yeah, I love my Omegle videos, but I love all those niches of content that I could do now, just because I'm like, I take the same format and then I do it wherever I can, wherever it works, because that's how you increase your audience. That's how you increase like how many people you can reach. Like what do you enjoy doing? Like, what's your thing?
I like video games and cars, and you know. And
So like if you really like cars, you know, it's like you could go and you can make, like, imagine you're really good at like modifying a certain part of a car, right? Like you're like, I'm so good at like doing superchargers.
Yeah.
Right? And then you could just put superchargers on random stuff. Like you could be like, I'm going to put supercharger on this like really old Mazda CX-7 or something, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you could just make content out of that and then like share it to people. Like that's how I feel content. It's like you can take things that make no sense to most people, and people are just going to watch it because they're like, I want to see what that is. It's a new title. It's a new thing.
Whoa.
You know? And that's how I've always viewed. Like,
You do all your own editing?
Yeah, yes, I do. But I have hired editors in the past 2 years just to like handle the overflow of what I'm doing, because, and I've taught them really, like, it's so hard to vet an editor, but I've really taught my editors how to do what I do.
We're gonna have you teach our editors for this.
Sure.
This is good.
I'll sit over Discord and, you know, do that zoom in and cut there and make sure there's no dead space and stuff like that. But I hired editors because I wanted to focus more on like getting better at music rather than always trying to be like my old workflow was I would do an Omegle and then I would spend 2 days, 4 days, 5 days editing.
Oh, geez.
And then I would do like my sponsor, and my sponsor always takes a day, and then I have to get it vetted, and then I have to get, you know, it was just like this huge, long thing. And now I just do an Omegle, and then I send it to my editor, and I cut it up how I
that's
want
nice.
it, and they kind of clean it up for me.
Okay, so checklist because there's a lot of the people watching this that are very talented at whatever they do.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to package it and like what platforms to put it on. Can you give a quick class on what you would?
So we're talking like
recommend?
art, music, or everything above.
Let's just say someone who can sing a little.
Okay,
you know?
somebody could sing a little.
Play an instrument or something.
My best bet with music is you have to recognize that even though you might be good at it, it's very hard for people, and there's entire teams of marketers who do this for people, and that's why confirming that your art is good, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that it's a very hard thing to like put music out and then and have people recognize it as good. You know, it's just kind of a difficult thing, and I think my best bet for people that want to be entrepreneurs or like want to be musicians and this and that is like go on Omegle. Go record a video of like you street performing. Like street performing for me taught me a lot of like how to capture a person's attention.
Okay.
Right? If you can capture a person's attention on a street where they don't care about you at all, like you're nothing to this person.
Mm-hmm.
They're busy, they're doing their thing. If you could find a way to like make that person watch you for 5 minutes, that'll give you the ability to recognize like I think a big part of being an artist and being a musician is like having the validation of knowing that what you do is people understand it and they like it, you know, and starting that and like trying to make content out of it and trying to show people like, hey, I'm doing this weird like I'm a violinist that like does dubstep in the background, and I'm on the street and I have 2 cameras, and these cameras are recording the people that are watching and myself playing, and I have it going into an Ableton track, and it sounds really good, and I'm going to mix it, and this person freaked out and gave me $100, so I'm going to make like a video where like it's like person freaks out to me playing violin. There, you got content. You got like something that is recognizable. You got something that people can immediately look at the title and go, I want to see this. Is he good? Is he cool? I wonder if he's good. And they gave him $100. He must be really good. And then they watch that video, and then you might gain a new fan. You might gain a new person that wants to watch your stream or watch other content, stuff like that. It's really like, and in terms of platforms, as you said, like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. And I'm going to admit I'm really lazy right now. I'm kind of just gestating. And I think you also, as a musician or a content creator, you can't burn yourself out. So you have to take breaks and you have to do stuff. Yeah. But if you're like trying to grind and you're trying to start, that's like the most like, look at Dylan Francis. Look at these people that like make music for a living. That used to be like kind of not something a lot of people did, and now you're starting to see like huge artists that have these teams of 20 people that are trying to make videos like that for these huge artists, right?
Yeah.
You have Ed Sheeran, and like look at the video where it's like Ed Sheeran in like a small venue, and they bring a person in off the street, right? Yeah. It's like stuff like that is starting to get bigger and bigger, and you start to realize like, oh, like that's you could do that on a small scale. Like you don't need a team for that. You need a team if you want to do graphics, and you need to get into like different venues, and you need to get like the music scene is archaic in that way. You know, like a singer, if you're a singer, it's so hard. You need to get a producer, you need to get a mixing engineer, you need to get a band, you need to get all this stuff. If you just have a backing track and you're singing on the street and you make it and you do it good, you can cut through all of that and start gaining all that stuff without having to do all that back end stuff. So like
you're kind of nerdy like me, and we like equipment. And
I love equipment.
Okay, so for beginners, what do they need to? So if they're a musician, right?
Okay.
What do they need?
So what do they need to do? What?
To like make cool videos like you and their stuff that'd be like super famous on YouTube or something.
Okay. Final Cut or Premiere.
Final Cut, Premiere. Okay.
You need to learn how to edit. You need to learn how to like. I think this is, even though I have editors now, like I still create everything in my vision of like what I want it to be, like how I want it to flow.
How do you learn that?
You just, it's the voice. Like you have to have voice in your editing, you know?
Okay.
Like voice in editing means like if I'm on Omegle and someone like says something funny to me, it's like learning how much space I should give it before it goes to me, and then like give it dead space or give it, you know, like stuff like that. Like you kind of want to have that for yourself, and you want to learn that, and it takes time. That's the first thing. If you actually want to make content, you should learn for yourself. But then on top of that, if you're a musician, you just want to buy gear, you know? I think Focusrite makes some really solid stuff, like a 2i2 or 2i4. You go from Focusrite, you get, you know, yourself like maybe a SM7B with a cloud lifter, or you get yourself an RE20 from Electro Voice, or like a Earthworks Ethos. Those are 3 mics that like work really well in everything. Like I think workhorse mic, like a microphone that can do, I can record you scratching this, and then I could record, you know, like a drop of water, and then I could record like you singing and then a kick drum. If you could do all that stuff with one microphone, and when you're starting, get like rocket, you know,
wow.
Get Ableton or Reaper or like just any music program, depending on how much your budget is. Like Reaper's $50 for life. It's really good.
Can't beat that.
You can't, but Ableton's really good in terms of their plugins and like how you can produce in it. And that's all you really need to start.
Well,
if you're an instrumentalist, obviously buy instruments, you know. But if you're just trying to learn how to produce, buy like an MPK 25 from Akai and just sit there and.
Do you like on your you have your main page, right? And then you have your cool whatever you want to do page.
Yeah.
Do you like talk about some of this stuff?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh, so you can guide people through a little bit of
yeah. So I mean, my second channel is Mr. Wobbles Extra, and I do everything from like I'll record me like hanging out in France, and like I'll take like nice videos that are quiet with like really good audio, and then I'll like talk about a relationship that was bad, or I'll like make a gaming video where I just put a meme up. You know, like it's something that's really nice about like having a shitpost channel is that if you're a creative, sometimes when you get to a point where you're making money off your creations and it becomes a job, you kind of lose the layer of like passion for what you originally were doing, right? Like if I just like creating, if I like making videos and I have like a knack for it, it's like when you're doing it at a professional, like I'm gonna edit everything and it's gonna be great and there's gonna be a great thumbnail, intro, and like all these stuff. It becomes like a formula. It's also nice to be like, I don't care. I'm just gonna put this video up of me like playing sock and bop'ems with my friend, you know, and that it's a really good dichotomy for me of like I have my serious, and then I can, if I want to, like I'm gonna start doing off-roading content. I'm gonna start doing. Like I'm doing a vlog here, you know, like because I'm here and I'm like, oh, we played skate. I played skate with Lay, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll put that in, you know. It's like, and then that's like those videos will get like 10,000 views, you know. But that's a small community of people that really value what I do, and they're really cool, and like then they come to my Discord and I talk to them, and it's like you just kind of it's all about. If you want to be a content creator, it's literally just so much about like growth and maintaining your community and being available to them and showing them what you do. And like, I think I have like I like what I do with my life, and I like traveling, and I like doing cool stuff, and I like talking about like, I'm really open with like mental health stuff. Like I'm down to talk about it. I'm down to like, I try to do all those things. So I'm not just like a musician. I'm not just like. You're
like friends with like most of your community, right? Like
I try to be
with them and engage with them.
I hope. some, yeah. Sometimes you get crazy people, but it's cool.
We gotta you're gonna be streaming in a little bit, so to respect your time. I just want to maybe ask you one last question.
Go for it.
What are some like actionable items that people watching that want to be able to content create, right, and be successful at it? What's some homework you'll give them right now?
Watch your favorite creators and try to do something like them. Like make a video similar to someone that you really like, and try not to do it like them at all. But try to take an idea and like, you know, run with it. If you're a musician and you like Harry Mack. You ever see Harry Mack? He like raps all the time. Like, and if you're like, do something and be horrible at it, and then you're going to get better at it.
Oh, yeah.
Like confidence is a weird thing when it comes to being a creative, because confidence has a lot of like backing. There's a lot of people who are very confident that are creatives that aren't actually very good at being creative, but they tend to end up being fine because they are fine putting their self out there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like half the battle of being creative and being successful.
I just watched Jackass Forever last night, and
really,
they're pretty raw, you know, and people just love them because they do it.
Yeah, they're not intentionally talented or anything. Like they're just doing it. You know?
Dude, that's such a good movie. Dude, you gotta go see it.
I really do. I was in France, so like
he's back.
I don't want to go watch French theater. You know, it's a bit hard to understand.
Dude, I appreciate you coming out. Where can people find you, man?
Just if you look up Mr. Wobbles on Google, I'm on YouTube. You can find Mr. Wobbles Extra, which is my second channel. I have Mr. Wobbles on Instagram, Mr. Wobbles Music on Twitter, and then I don't really use anything else too much, so it's cool. All those four are my main things. So hell yeah.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna do some fun stuff, dude. Guys. Mr. Wobbles, the man, the myth. Thanks for coming. I'm so excited. This is one of the best episodes. Totally improv. Notice I have no sheet here. This is just free flow. As you guys know, this podcast is free, and every week we bring in somebody who's built something from nothing. So it's cool to have him on and share his story, because you can do it too. There's only a couple things I ask that you do. One, execute. He gave you the homework, right? So go do the homework. And then 2, share it. Right? Share it so that other people can be helped by this. And 3, when you make money, tons of money, millions of dollars, take 10% of your gain and give it to a great charity. I think that's hypercritical to give back. If you do those 3 things, you're rocking. So I'll see you guys next week. Thanks again, man.
Hell yeah.